The choice to do weighted dips instead of bench press to start the chest today is just kind of an experiment. There's not a lot of thought behind it. I've figured out like 12 or 13 years ago that I respond very, very well to dips. Not everybody does, but something about my mechanics or maybe how I do it, I don't know. I just respond very, very well to dips. And if I'm trying to bring up my chest, dips work great. If I'm trying to specifically increase my bench press, maybe I hit a plateau, I'll start doing a lot of weighted dips. And it always improves my bench press. That and overhead press. If I'm trying to improve bench press power specifically, then doing heavy overhead press and weighted dips will clear up any bench issues I'm having if I'm doing like powerlifting. But I would say it's a heavily favored towards weighted dips. And depending on what my goal is, whether it's power for bench press or just overall chest development, I'll change my technique a little bit. But I noticed that here lately, bench press it's been all right, but I'm not going for power. I'm going for pumping my chest. And I don't know, as I'm doing more volume and just kind of doing my thing, it feels okay for my chest, but I'm kind of being reminded that it's not the best chest exercise. And there's a lot of stuff that's better for the chest, but I still do want to have some sort of weighted compound movement. And when I did my measurements recently, I saw that my chest is not developing nearly as quickly as my shoulders are. So I might, if this feels good and I feel like this has worked better to activate my chest today, then I might just be doing dips for the foreseeable future and see if my next checkup, my chest has been responding better to it. I think it will, but we'll see. Ooh. Man, that just failed all of a sudden. Rep 4 and 5, I thought, oh, I'll get 8, no problem. And then rep 6 was like, oh, holy shit, I'll get 8, but it's gonna be a problem. And then rep 7 was just like, nah, man, you're done. All right, I'll see if I can keep the same weight and do a couple more sets. And maybe I'll just focus on lower end partials. Oh. I've been reading up on some of the latest research studies, and I came across a lot of good stuff where they're using EMG to test muscle fiber activation on various exercises. And a great example of why it's important to stay humble and be willing to update your beliefs. Because one of the things, for example, that I found to be true from trial and error and my own experience was that the most effective tricep exercise is overhead extensions, specifically if I do one arm overhead extensions, but really any sort of overhead extension. If you are doing overhead extensions, it's not only really isolating the tricep because nothing can really help it in that position. It's not like any other tricep movement where naturally your shoulders or chest can help. I mean, it's pretty much on its own, but on top of that, it pre-stretches it a ton. Like even with no weight in my hand, trying to stick my elbow straight up overhead, I can feel my tricep tightening up. So the idea was it gets a super good stretch in the tricep, which is gonna help, various things, bro science stuff. And then of course, the fact that the tricep is isolated and can't really get help from other muscles means it should be the best. And now turns out these EMG studies have shown that, yeah, like the most effective way to to actually stimulate the tricep is with overhead extensions. But on the other hand, incline curls will pre-stretch my biceps and get a super full range of motion. So it should be great. But then those same EMG studies showed that although getting that pre-stretch is more effective to stimulate a muscle basically everywhere in the whole body, biceps, oddly enough, were one of the few exceptions. Incline curls resulted in much less bicep stimulation than more traditional curls. And as a matter of fact, the most effective way to stimulate the bicep turned out to be old school concentration curls, where you support your elbow on your leg and you do these types of curls. So array science, the more you know. Got this light directly overhead. Makes me really wish I was wearing sunglasses. Awesome. Haven't done those narrow grip rows in a while. I've actually thought that I've been focusing so much on doing the wide grip rows and wide grip pull downs like every single workout for over a month now that I need to start evening it out. So I think since I'm doing back twice a week, I think one day I'll do these narrow rows with wide pull downs, and then on the next day I'll do wide rows with narrow pull downs, and see if that helps balance things out a bit. Fuck. Oh shit. Oh, it's still burning. Oh, out of control. Fuck. Nice.